All of us don't know our gifts because we haven't been hurt enough. And when we hear the word hurt, it comes with a negative connotation to it, a negative energy, a negative thought or feeling. But when you said it, I had a different perspective on the been hurt enough part. Why does it require us to be hurt in order to change, or in order to make a decision, or in order to move forward, or in order to do what we know what we should do, or in order to do what you were already told to do by the Spirit? Why do we have to hurt? Why does it require pain? And I know that to be true because pain pushes you, it pushes you into another state of being, a confident state of being, a more aggressive state of being, a more determined state of being. If you hurt bad enough, you become someone different. You become another empowered version of yourself. So when you said pain, I wrote down, I said, it's not about the pain for pain's sake. Pain has a purpose. That level of pain represents the level of force that it's going to take to open your heart and allow the core, real, true you, the real version of you, to step into the forefront of your life. That pain is a representation of force. The pain that's required for change is not the kind of pain that just wants to hurt you just to hurt you. No, it represents the force necessary for the authentic version of you to step into the forefront of your life, and that imposter version of you to take the back seat. Because when we walk throughout life, to shed, what I've discovered is that when we walk throughout life with a whole lot of wishes and wants and desires, that's the imposter version of ourselves. That's not our authentic self, because our authentic self is living those things. We don't want and need and desire the things of our heart because we have the courage to manifest them. We have the courage to create them. So when we walk throughout life wanting and wishing and hoping, we are not the being. It's an imposter version. We're not in our fullness. That's what I'm trying to say. So that pain is enough force to break the treasure box open, break the heart open, so that the confident version of you is released. And once that confident version of you steps onto the scene, that imposter scatters. That imposter, it doesn't have any room in your environment for that imposter, because the energy of the authentic you is so powerful that the things that you're fighting on this level, they don't even exist up there. The authentic version of you doesn't even have to confront those things because they are non-existent, because of the state of being, because of your perspective, that confident knowing. Do you know in the presence of confidence, there's no fear? And you might say, well, yes, I was confident and a little bit afraid. I'm not talking about that kind of fear. I'm talking about the fear that would prevent you from being in the position of confidence, the fear that would stop you from pursuing and taking the leap, like we posted today on our social media pages on an episode of Beyond the Break called Take the Leap. There are various versions of fear. But when the confident version of you steps onto the scene, there's no doubt, there's no hesitation, there's no confusion and lack of clarity. When you're confident and you're courageous and you're determined, like Tashet said, you've hurt enough, and you've hurt enough to use force and break open that higher version of yourself. There are certain things, I don't want to call them weaknesses, but there are certain aspects of ourselves that we no longer experience anymore. They're silenced. They immediately disappear. They are dispelled. They cannot exist in this kind of power. That's the power of clarity and perception. So this pain this is why pain has a purpose. These are my notes. It's giving you the strength to break open and allow the true version of yourself to love yourself, to come out of the shadows of the imposterous version of yourself. You want, these are other notes I took. You want the fear, because you said that, to shed. You want the fear of every year being the same to be greater than the fear of change. And you also mentioned, you said something like, What's hard is not making a decision at all and letting life just happen. That's what's hard. Getting to the end of your life and realize you just let life happen. You didn't even put up a fight. You didn't put forth resistance. You didn't stand up for yourself. You didn't stand up for what you wanted. You just let life happen. We're not here to just let life happen. We're here to live life and it more abundantly, to access the more of life. And in order to do that, is everything is not about a fight. Sometimes the fight is just you saying yes when you should have said no. Sometimes winning the battle is you saying no when you should have said yes. Think about that. The fight is not a fist fight. It's not always being in confrontation with someone. The greatest fight is internal. You thinking this thought versus that thought. You having this perspective versus that perspective. You believing this about yourself versus that about yourself. You seeing yourself in your highest potential, a greater light. None of us know our highest potential, but we can definitely strive for it. We can definitely reach for a greater version. We could reach for a version greater than the version that we are now. And because we're endless beings, there's no telling how far you can go with you. There's no telling how much of you can unpack and release in this realm called life. But beyond the break is about giving yourself a fighting chance.